Well, hello there. So, I haven't seen anyone playing the build I play. It's completely based around Corrupting Fever, and as you can see, the tooltip isn't as high. It's 68,716, but yeah, it is really smooth, and I thought I showcase this build in a quick map, and then you can see if you would like it or not. And after the map I go into a bit more detail. It shouldn't take me too long and has a conqueror in it, so should be fast. And you can also see the boss damage. Yeah, as you can see, it completely decimates trash, but yeah, most builds do that. But the area you cover is really nice. I mean, of course it is. You play Gladiator. You can also play this as a Trickster for a bit more single target damage. But yeah, if you start out with it, I wouldn't recommend Trickster, because you have to find a way to get the explosions that Gladiator has, so your clear will be equal as good, and lose the blind. So it's a trade you have to make. You even have a, what is it called, commander in this region. So pretty nice to showcase it. Yes, you can see my life pool is pretty big, and that has a reason. You saw it in the beginning probably. The cost for this Corrupting Fever activation is not mana based. It's all based around your HP, and the harder you push the skill, the more mana or life cost you have. And right now I'm at 6.5k. So that's yeah, a little bit of investment, but it also makes you really tanky. And every time I drop that low, I have to reactivate my skill, cause I forgot to spam my Rain of Arrows. And with my Rain of Arrows I keep the skill going and don't have to reactivate it all the time. As you can see on the Corrupting Fever buff, right now we are at 5 seconds and I spam a bit and we are back to 11. That's cause Corrupting Fever activates or refreshes itself as soon as you spend a certain life pool. And we are spending life with Rain of Arrows with life tap support. That makes it so that we spend life for the skill instead of mana, and right now we are spending 37 mana for each activation. Yeah, that keeps the skill going. Other than that, we try to keep up our frenzy charges with Blood Rage and Frenzy. So we have our single target damage with frenzy charges. As you can see, it's not that bad. And I'm dead. She's too. I just thought I could tank her. I was wrong. Yeah. So that was my bad. If I just had moved, that was would have been no problem. So let's go loot her and talk about more in-depth about the skill.
My spirit is spent.
I thought myself better than you.
So
I can't do this just yet.
I'm gonna go talk about it in Path of Building 2, so you can see my tree. But first start with the items. 6-link bow with some attack speed and yeah, +3 to socketed gems. It's only socketed support gems +3, but we have Empower, and that gives our Corrupting Fever plus 3 level. So that's pretty nice. Plus 5 level, my bad. It's a level 3 Empower. As soon as I have a level 4 Empower, my skill would cost around 7k HP. So I have to get a little bit better gear. Then we have curse enemies with vulnerability on hit ring. That's our second curse, cause our chest has apply an additional curse. With some life on it, I use punishment as a second curse, but this is really overkill. It's not necessary at all. Like the 6 link, if you start out, get a 5 link for your Corrupting Fever, and you can play it all the way to tier 16 and farm bosses with it. Do every ultimatum, so it's really nice. This is the my helm. For nearby enemies take 9% increased physical damage taken, and Corrupting Fever deals 40% increased damage. The bottom part, the nearby enemies take 9% increased physical damage, isn't that necessary. It's really end game. The helm enchantment for Corrupting Fever deals 40% increased damage. That's pretty necessary. You really want that. You can get it really cheap right now, so go ahead and get it. Yeah, our amulet is +2 to all skill gems. Not necessary at all. You don't need the +2. +1 is enough already for a long time, and you don't even need +1 to farm to tier 16 and the ultimatums in tier 16 and so on. The other ring, this one is pretty necessary. The life gain for each enemy hit by your attacks. We really need that. That's our sustain, and that keeps us going. We have our quiver, nothing special, bit of attack speed. That's the only thing that you really need on the quiver, attack speed and life. The rest is optional. So yeah, gloves, physical damage over time multiplier, attack speed, life. That's everything you need. It's not necessary to get it on apothecary's gloves. My god, that's a hard word for a non-English native speaker. This belt is a bit overkill. You don't need a belt like this. Get a belt with percentage life and flat life and roll with it till endgame. Really no problem. Yeah, boots, nothing special. So yeah. Let's go about the links. We have our Corrupting Fever, level 29, cause of all the plus gem level I have on my gear, and the Empower level. What is it right now? Level 6. We want Corrupting Fever level 30, so I want an Empower level 4, cause that's the biggest boost you get for Corrupting Fever. We don't need more, cause after level 30 every additional level drops off really hard. So level 30 is the break point in my eyes. We've got Swift Afflictions for more damage over time, a little bit faster damage, so yeah. Efficacy, cause we don't have another really good link. That's why I rolled with Efficacy. Not you can leave that out if you go for 5 link. That, Efficacy or Empower, one of these two you can leave out. Life tab support for the life tab when we spam Rain of Arrows a bit, or when we activate our Corrupting Fever skill. Gives a lot of damage, really huge amount of damage as soon as you activate it. Last but not least, it's Brutality, and that's probably the life tab and Brutality are the two necessary gems you need to support your Corrupting Fever. Those two are the main damage source. So on our helm we have Flesh and Stone with Maim, so that our Flesh and Stone Maim is a bit stronger when we activate Bloodstance, like this. We have Enlighten and Pride. Enlighten is linked with Pride and Flesh and Stones, so we have enough mana to activate our other aura, the War Banner, and even keep some mana over. Enlightened support level 2 is enough. You don't need more. It's nice if you have more, but it's not necessary. Yeah, Warbanner makes nearby enemies take increased physical damage, so it's more multiplayer. We have Enduring Cry on our left mouse button, because believe me, saved my ass a couple of times. And as you can see, when I activate Corrupting Fever and move, my life instantly gets filled up again. So that's the start of a map. Activate Corrupting Fever and move. We have Frenzy just for single target damage, to keep up with the Frenzy charges. We have Dash to
My
be able to
spirit
be
is
quicker.
spent. I can't do
In
this just
the
yet.
boots we have Blood Rage on the non-link. Then we have Stone Golem, cast when damage taken, and Skilled Skin. Those three activate more often than you think. And in our chest, 4 link, maybe a 5 link, depends on how far you're in, is enough. 4 link with Rain of Arrows, life tap, life gain on hit, and faster attacks is enough. If you go for more and if you want a 5 link, skip faster attacks, go for Hextech support, and instead of punishment use vulnerability. I have it on my ring, that's why I use punishment on the chest. So if you have a 6 link, you use punishment, Hex touch support, faster attacks, life gain on hit, life tap, and Rain of Arrows. You can switch Rain of Arrows and faster attacks for Frenzy with Barrage. So probably a bit better single target, but not necessary. Yeah, our flasks is nothing special either. So we have Jade Flask with poison immunity, a Quartz Flask with cross immunity, Quicksilver Flask of adrenaline for faster movement, and a Sulfur Flask for a bit of damage. And a Life Flask, of course. You really want a Life Flask. So, that's the small part. Now we get to the bigger part, and that's our skill tree. I already said we start as a duelist, and later on go into gladiator. We have the standard way for a duelist around the left side of the tree. Get life, get life, get life. I already play with cluster jewels. They are in the Path of Building. I will link down below, by the way. So the beginning of the leveling is really easy. You get life and you get more life. You travel around this, get the life down here, go up, go all the way up here, and then you get your veteran soldier and start out with a bit of damage. The early scaling of Corrupting Fever is pretty good. It drops a bit in the middle if you don't keep up with your gear, but it never gets bad. Never. As you can see, we go to the left, go up, get precision and more life. Do the same down here. Get Heart of the Warrior, maybe versatility because you want the dexterity and intelligence, and attack speed is never bad. Go to the left, go up here, get more damage, Vanquisher. Go up, get life, go down, get life, and that's pretty much the whole skill tree. Like I said, I linked it in the Path of Building down below. It has a level 35 skill tree, a level 55 skill tree, and a level 80 skill tree, and then the end game skill tree for cluster jewels. And the cluster jewels are our damage. They are our main damage. All of them are damage over time or increased physical damage, but yeah, we have Battle Hardened, Master of Fundamentals, and Furious Assault in our big cluster jewels for damage, damage, and more damage. In our medium cluster jewels, we have damage over time. We have more damage over time. Here, it's a multiplier. That's pretty nice. And other side, the same. We use Flow of Life, Student of Decay, Brush with Death, circling Oblivion. These are the 4 things you can use. They are pretty cheap, to be honest. The medium cluster jewels. The large cluster jewels are a bit more expensive. You can skip the free big passive skill. It's cluster jewels and get 2 instead. And they are cheaper. They are a lot cheaper. Yeah, for our normal jewels, we do use damage over time, physical damage over time multiplier, increased maximum life. You always want increased maximum life. If you have to skip one of the other 2, that's fine. That's no problem. Ideal is maximum life and physical damage over time multiplier, and the increased damage over time is just a bonus. If you can afford it. You really don't have to. Down here is the same. No, it's not the same. That's the one jewel I wanted to talk about. This one is important. It's life and mana gain for each enemy hit by your attacks. It makes the build so much smoother. We hit so often. Our mana gain for each enemy hit by our attacks is incredible, and it makes the build smoother and makes it so we can play no rag maps with ease. They are no problem at all, even without the jewel. You can do every map mod, every single one. There's nothing you can't do. Wanted to say this. In Ultimatum, it's the same. You can do every mod. Yeah, big thing is, like I said, big thing is the mana gain for each enemy hit by your attacks. So you are faster, a lot faster through maps with dash. And then even in no-reg maps, you always have enough mana for dash. So that's no problem. Yeah, that's the big things about the build. The items are linked in the Path of Building too. So thank you all for listening, and I hope it was okay for my first build guide. And yeah, if you want to know more, come by the stream. It's linked down below too. And if you have questions, just ask them. I stream from Monday to Friday, so just come by and say hi. Thank you for watching, and see you guys.